Jia Ren, are you ready?
Yes, I am. Let's go.
I thought sports was something that you did when you were young, and maybe when you start working, you might have to put that in the back burner and focus on your career. Stepping out of my comfort zone made me realize that actually there's a possible career here. I was deathly afraid of weight. My relationship with weights was like practically non-existent. I felt like I was gonna crush myself to death or something. I was that typical girl who would just like make a beeline to the cardio machine. Like then my husband was a gym rat, so I just shadowed him. And then after a while, I realized like, it's not that scary. It's kind of fun. One day I was like, hey mom, I'm competing. If you wanna come, feel free to come. And she's like, wait, what do you mean? And like, you're competing in what? It wasn't a big thing among women, like lifting weights and stuff like that. So she didn't really have an idea of how safe it was. Eventually, she saw the good it brought me, and she showed her form of support, which was like helping me meal prep from my dad, who would like send me to the airport when I competed overseas. So that was their form of support. You might not be the best from the get-go. No one comes out hot like that, you need time to build. And if you just keep building, you stay in it long enough, like you're gonna excel in it. Putting on the red singlet, like I'm a bit superstitious. I don't ever train in it. I don't ever touch it until competition, like because that's how much I respect it. This is my 8th year doing it. It doesn't get old. It's a really supportive sponsor, but I feel like I need to constantly do well to deserve that support. When you have like strangers like, pinning on you and like wishing you well, you feel like you're disappointing this stranger too. It's like, oh, I've let Singapore down. Pleasure is a privilege, like I use it as fire, I use it as fuel. You have to do well. You have so much support around you. You have no reason to do badly. Keep your head in the game, focus on what you need to do, and the longer you are authentic to yourself and being kind to yourself and listening to what you need on your own, that's how you progress, that's how you grow. There's that dream of lifting through my senior year. I want to be powerlifting until I'm like 17. I have like grandkids in the stands. I'd be like, my grandma's stronger than yours. And like, I want it like that. Like, I'd be like, grandma can lift more than you, Why are you chickening out this way? In any other situation, like, I don't think you have that moment so raw and so strong. Like you have people rallying together. You may have all your differences, you may have political stances and problems, but for a moment that you forget about it. And I think that's sport.
To get themselves in sports, it's one way to kind of like, introduce them into these values that they can apply into schools, speaking to parents as well, right? The public, the society.
Sometimes, when you don't get like the stroke correct or you can't kick the ball properly, it's a bit frustrating. But like with resilience and patience, you'll automatically learn about it throughout sports.
It's well guided these days. Whatever options that you choose or the pathway that you took, there are proper information. You can see there's clarity, and especially nowadays, parents are involved in making decisions, for their children. That's the positive part of today's sporting era. When I was representing the country, I saw them on the stands. They were pretty young. I told my wife that let's keep this going, to be together, together with other people from different backgrounds. I think that's what sports is all about.
I'm very proud that I was able to try swimming, because I wouldn't have been able to make professional level if I didn't try it at all. So it's just that one leap to get you into a professional level. He's always there giving me like advice, even my mom also. He knows it through like the perspective of an athlete. He knows how to like craft the words better that can help support me emotionally and physically as well.
And from far I will be like,
I lost a competition once and he was trying to cheer me up about that, and my mom as well. So it really like motivated me to be not so down about it and to just keep on moving and like leave the past in the past.
Whenever I had a bad day, bad game, then she will just come to me and say, you know, Daddy, I always fall down. You know, she can't balance, right? If I can do it, you can do it, you know. That's always where I pick myself up again and then apply it to the next game. Yeah.
It's a big motto in our family. If I can do it, you can do it.
What are your thoughts on the aspirations of today's young athletes and their families?
I mean, to see her in the pool, aspiring to turn professional and, you know, follow in the footsteps. As a kid growing up, I also was like, wow, can I be something, you know, in sport? I love to play basketball, but I wasn't really good. You know, we have many people we look up to in the past, and parents play a big role, I must say. Parents, when they encourage their kids to take up sport, whether in school or in clubs outside of school, and they just go and have fun. Play, right? At that young age, if you have fun, you love it, you will want to do it, even beyond your school years.
When you saw by Haki and how invested he was, could you see the love that he had for Moza?
For sure, for sure. He wants the best for Moza. And he tries to impart his experience. But I also love the fact that Moza also inspires him. If I can do it, you can do it too. I love it that how is their family motto. If everyone had this motto in life, if I can do it, you can do it too, we will be amazing as a people and as a nation.
What stood out to you about Farhana's mental and emotional resilience that athletes need to compete with today?
Farhana's story is amazing. She really demonstrates how with commitment, with fighting spirit, you can achieve anything that you want. And I see that in her. And I see that not just in her, but in many of our national athletes that we have today. Nobody trains the coming second, right? When you step onto the field, you have a chance, you go all out for it. And that's the mental spirit that I can see in Farhana, and I can see that in many of our athletes today. Actually, in high-performance sport, not many people realize you don't win all the time. In fact, most of the time you lose. There's only one winner in any competition. But what differentiates the high-performance athlete is how you bounce back. That's the emotional resilience that I see in Farhana, I see in many of our athletes today. Farhana and Moza both have the family support. That's something that I think money cannot buy. You feel you have somebody that's back you no matter what. Same for me as my parents, right? When you have that kind of emotional support, you can go out there and just leave it all on the field of play. You don't feel alone. Now, imagine if every time an athlete represents Singapore and knows that they have the support of whole of Singapore. No longer is one athlete against the world. It's 6 million strong Team Singapore versus the world.
I've been a national athlete for the past 11 years. I've been on the international stage for just as long, and being able to do something else with your life, it challenges you to learn new skills, to be adaptable for new things, and it's exhilarating to me in a very scary but also fulfilling way that this is a new side of me I've never seen before. I've been a Toyota brand ambassador for the past 6 years. It's been a wonderful journey. I've been so lucky to work with Toyota on so many great projects, and this is the latest one. My role today was to be creative director, chart the course of the show and to handle all the problems that comes up when you do a fashion show. There are so many things I had no idea I had to think about, and I'm so grateful for having a great team that was patient enough and experienced enough to work it through with me and point me to where I needed to go. So at the end of the day, when I needed to make a decision, it wasn't too bad. It's become more daunting the closer it got, and now it doesn't seem so bad anymore. And there's a lot of anxiety, there's a lot of joy and excitement that comes with organizing a show, and it's another chance for me in a way to get to know myself a bit better. What am I like when I have to put together a fashion show? It's a moment in my life. It's a great moment in my life. I'd say the lesson I take away from this experience is to just depend on your teams. Swimming is a very individual sport. But whether you lose or win can be at times just a weight on your shoulders. It's all on you. No one can swim that race for you, but here, a show, you got people to help you out, and that's a team sport, and that's something I'm not used to, and that's something I really enjoy having. You know, who knew it would only come after I did something other than swimming? While you're still, you know, under the protection of your family, your sport, your school, try new things. All the interests that I've had in my life, I've been grateful enough to try and tinker with while I was in school or university, doing something that wasn't a job. And that gives you a lot of freedom to figure out what you like, and just trying to figure out who you are in different situations and different shades of the light. To me, that's always been very important, having the freedom to, in a way, change my life, to explore my life, because you only have one of it.
When it comes to coach, you need to take care of everybody under you. Like you will look at the bigger picture. How do you make a team work? How do you do this program so that everyone progress together and it's not just one player, because you need to have a team to make the player work as well. As a national player, I managed to go some international tournament. I learned the process, and I do know that how important process are. So I will use this experience to share with the players. Coach Mulyo and Handoyo, he really taught me a lot. So last time when I was his assistant, I'm like quite soft-hearted, right? So he teach me to be more strict, more straightforward, so that don't waste the player time. If anything, you tell them straight. The most important quality of a coach, I think, is commitment, because at the end of the day, it is where you groom the player, right? So if you come and go and the player come and go, we learn nothing and we go home, how do we grow? They don't learn anything. I think it's not right from my part. So I think it's important to communicate, work together, and at the end of the day, they must understand why are they here, and when they go back, what they learn. As long as a player come here with the right attitude, right character, every day you come here with 100% effort and you are selected for major games, that's good. And if it doesn't, at least you go home feeling good, right? That you learn something. Because at the end of the day, like I say, what the kid learn is not just about the sports, it's about the values that will bring into the later part of their life.
What role do you think sports plays for athletes to develop other roles and identities outside of the arena?
You know, sport actually builds a lot of character, a lot of leadership that goes beyond the field of play. Fighting spirit, never giving up, you know, the discipline to put in the hard work, and working as a team with your fellow teammates and your coaches. These are things that will be important as you transition out of a full-time athlete into different roles. Wei Song, I'm happy to see he is running his fashion show, and I love how he said swimming is an individual sport. But while you are an individual on the field of play, there's a team around you. Your coach, your sports scientists, your nutritionists, your mentors, your parents, everyone is part of your support team. And only when the support team works together can you do well. Mentally and emotionally, it prepares you as well. The confidence that sport can bring you when you're young. And these are lessons that apply to work, and all of us can relate, right? We don't work in a silo, in a vacuum. We cover one another in work, and the whole team comes together to put the best product, the best service, and the best foot forward for anything that we do. Kelvin's progression from a national athlete to coaching the national team now, the lessons that he has learned, whether he's through his competition, just experiencing what it's like to go through major games, you can see that in his coaching now. Committing to build the best athletes, to give them the best. And every time that they come on court, he demands that as well. And they leave each lesson learning something new. There's a saying, right? We coach how we were coached. And so you can see the important role that coaches play in an athlete's life. In Coach SG at the High Performance Sport Institute, we always say when you coach the person first and then the athlete. You build people of good character, of good values, And when they do that, it translates into their life. And I would encourage everyone who has a chance to give back through coaching. You make such a big difference to the world of your athlete.
What are your closing thoughts on where Singapore sports is headed and what gives you hope?
We have come a long way. In the past, even getting into sport as a career was a very scary endeavor for many people. And now you have models like Kelvin progressing into coaching. And in today's world, the career of a coach has become so much more sacred and almost like a teacher. Beyond coaching, you see Wei Song, who goes in the corporate world. The life skills that you pick up, especially in competitive sport, they make such a big difference to how you bring yourself and show up every day at work. There's nothing that can inspire a nation that like sport. We have seen so many things that we have done in the past decades to support the growth of sport. Singapore is some people call it accidental nation, right? We have no right to exist, but we are here. We are exceptional in our spirit and our attitude, and that is what makes us exceptional as a nation. On the sporting field, these are the things that you hone. How do you be exceptional? And when you're exceptional in training, when nobody's looking, when you are choosing what to eat and choosing when to sleep and choosing what to do with your time in preparing to compete, that's what makes it exceptional on the field. All the preparation that goes around it behind, and the team behind you that supports you, right? When you're there, that's when you can turn the switch on and say, I'm ready, and I can go all out. And as a nation, that's what we have been doing. The people who have built this nation, our pioneer generation, they work together as a team. And now when we stand in the international field, we are confident as a nation, we are cohesive as a society. And sport really brings all that out. And we really feel that if people can live better through sport, Singapore will be so much more exceptional in the future as well.
We're going to leave you with one of our living legends, Jocelyn Yeo, the most decorated SEA Games medalist in our history. Are you ready to let her take it home?
I am. Looking forward to this.
Doing sports is not just about, what career can I make out of it. There's so many life lessons that you learn through sport. You find that a lot of athletes make the best students as well because they have that discipline, they have that perseverance, that grit. It helps them, in the different stages of their life. When I started actual competitive swimming and becoming a national swimmer, I think that trajectory then changed and the perspectives of what life could be then changed. I never really thought about what if I don't make it, because I think that as an athlete and as somebody who's very competitive, you're always thinking about being successful, right? And making it work. And so I never think about what if it doesn't work? What's my backup plan? So I'm always just looking forward and trying to be better than I was. Watching Ang Peng Siong swim his final race and how that was a huge consideration for him. The father figure in our team, and to see him go through that decision of having to retire, the pressure leading up to it, it impacted all of us. He could go on, he has more to give. I think it did stick out in my mind that, how far can an athlete in Singapore go? I have 4 kids, and my kids are all involved in sport because I really do believe in the value of sport and what that brings to their lives. And I use a lot of those life lessons and help them to translate that into their own lives. For me now, I feel that my responsibility as a parent is to nurture them and to show them and teach them and, impart to them whatever I can. I would like to see this next generation, love sport for what it is, enjoy it, and realize that even when it does get tough sometimes, right, you push through and it teaches you so much. So if they can stick with it long enough to really see the benefits of sport, I believe that we will not just have a generation of athletes who are more resilient and are stronger, but a generation, a community of Singaporeans, that come out stronger. When things were not going my way, it was coming back to what is that lighthouse for me? Why am I doing what I'm doing? Coupled with support, from the government, from my parents, and eventually from my sponsors, that really helped me to then, I guess, go the long haul.